We breed these beautiful Buff Orpington chickens, and we're asked an awful lot, what do we look for in a hen and a cockerel if we're going to increase the size of our flock? So in this video we're going to talk all about that. Welcome to English Country Life. My name's Fiona, and together with my lovely husband Hugh, we run a small holding homestead here in Lincolnshire in the UK. And these wonderful hens are Buff Orpingtons, or as we like to call them, the floofs. Now we breed these wonderful chickens. And why do we breed them? Well, it's because they are self-supporting, because we breed more than we actually keep. And those excess chickens are actually sold to people who want them either for a small holding of their own or into the pet market, and both are just as popular. Now if you're a smallholder, we do believe these are the perfect smallholder chicken. We've made a video on the subject and a link to that is up above. But for the pet market, they are so popular because they are incredibly friendly, they're calm and very docile, and just look at them, the golden balls of sunshine. They're absolutely amazing to keep. In this video, what we're going to do is talk through the attributes that we're looking for when we're looking for hens or cockerels to increase the size of our flock, because it's really important our buyers get the best attributes. And what are we actually looking for? Well, the first category is calm, docile and friendly. So let's cover that off first. The most important aspect for us are calm, docile and friendly. And why is that important? Well, we are selling excess hens into the market, and that means that their new owners really do want to have a relationship with their chickens. So pet owners want to sit with them in the evening and do what I'm doing now, hand feed. And smallholders generally want to have a relationship with their chickens too, so it is important. And how do we achieve it? Well, in general, the breed of Orpington, they are calm and docile and friendly, to be fair. However, we have gone a step further because we hatch all of our hens and cockerels using broody hens. And that means that our brood hens teach their youngsters that we are to be trusted. So from day one, they are docile and friendly with us. So it really does work. We do try and maintain breed conformity as much as possible. And where do we get the standards from? Well, we get them from the Orpington Club of Great Britain. And they have a whole page listing lots and lots of attributes that we need to try and achieve if we're going to be breeding Orpingtons to their standards. But let me just give you some of the main things that they're after. Well, the main thing is this very broad, deep body. It needs to be almost cobby. Their wings need to be short and very nicely formed, carried in a horizontal position, and they need a lovely, small, neat head. There's many other things listed on the Orpington Club of Great Britain website, and we've got a link to that down below. So if you are thinking of breeding or you're thinking of buying an Orpington, that's the best place to get a listing of exactly what a good Orpington should look like. You might think that Buff Orpingtons come in just one colour, which is buff, but buff has multiple shades. And on my knee here is a chicken called Gannet 2.0. Why is she 2.0? Well, the original Gannet was one of our original hens, and she was the first one ever to brood for us, so she meant a great deal to us. And she was nicknamed the Ginger Ninja. Now, Gannet 2.0 is from her direct line. And we also favour the ginger colours, essentially because Buff Orpingtons do bleach in sunlight, and most of our buyers do actually keep their chickens free ranging, so over time they are going to go a lighter colour, and that's why we favour the gingers. Broody tendencies are really important for us in selecting hens that are going to go forward. And why is that? Well, we find that mum knows best. If we have a broody hen who incubates, hatches and raises the chicks, she teaches them everything they need to know. So one of the most important things are actually flock dynamics. So the chicks understand their place in a mixed flock overall. And it means that any of our buyers who buy our hens, they find it easier to integrate the hens than they would buying from someone who has actually hatched in an incubator, because those chicks from an incubator only know chicks their own age. They don't have a mixed flock to learn from. Now, we do use incubators, it has to be said, but only to supplement the incubation cycle with a broody hen who's going to hatch those eggs, and to support any chicks that are in trouble during the hatching process. But overall, mum does know best. This is one of our Orpington eggs, and it's a lovely quality egg. Now, why am I tapping it? Because I'm tapping it to show that it's hard-shelled. Once in a blue moon, we may get a hen who lays thin-shelled eggs. And why is that a problem? Well, as breeders, we need to lay eggs for incubation. So they're in a nest and they've got a big broody hen sat on top. If you've got a thin-shelled egg, it can actually break. And as that white and yolk starts to break down, it can introduce infection to the other eggs around it, because don't forget, these shells are actually porous, so that's not a good thing for us as breeders. So good quality hard-shelled eggs are what we're looking for. Size is an incredibly important part of our breeding equation. What we're looking for is the largest of the hens and the largest of the cockerels to go forward. And why is that important? Well, a lot of our buyers are smallholders, homesteaders, and in general, they're going to do exactly what we do, which is breed. Now, if you think about it, if you've got two eggs that you're hatching, on average, one's going to be a hen and one's going to be a cockerel. But for the welfare of a flock, ideally, there shouldn't be more than one cockerel for every 8 hens. That's because if you have more than that, you get excessive feather wear on the backs of the hens and essentially damage to them over time. So it's not good for their health. So most of our buyers who are smallholders, homesteaders, what do they do with those extra cockerels? Well, they grow them to maturity and then they become table birds, and that means size is unbelievably important in that equation. We've talked a lot about hens in this film, but let's talk about our breeding cockerels. How do we go about selecting them? Well, for us, we need to keep the genetics strong. So every single year we bring in unrelated cockerels and we hatch them from eggs that we buy in. And they're actually hatched by our Buff Orpingtons. Now, we do buy from more than one breeder every single year because that gives us good choice. Once those eggs are hatched, we will then observe the behaviours of the cockerels and how they grow, and we will take 2 forward and select from the best 2. And what are we looking from those 2? Well, of course, we're looking for everything we've talked about in this film so far. But once they're mature, we're looking for a high level of fertility, and we test for fertility. How we go about that is in a film which is linked up above. But the main thing for us is gentleness in the mating process with the hens. And why is that so important? Well, you can get roosters who essentially just grab the hens, climb on whether the hens are willing or not, and that can actually stress the flock out. So we're looking for a rooster who's going to do his little mating dance and actually ask for permission before he climbs on. And it does make the flock happier and healthier overall. As you can see, that first attribute we talked about, calm, docile and friendly, really does work. And it's so important in our breeding flock if we're going to be adding hens and cockerels to our breeding roster. If you have liked this content, take a moment and give us a thumbs up down below. If you don't already subscribe to the channel, hit subscribe and the bell icon and you'll get notified of every new video as soon as it goes live. If you've got a question for us, don't hesitate, pop it in the comments down below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. But for now, thanks for watching and we do look forward to seeing you next time.